start off with a Mark Freeman type intro where he kind of like zooms in and pans. Good morning, YouTube. I know it's been one long wait. We have done quite a bit since our last update. This will be one of the final shop house updates, at least so I'm hoping. Really want to focus on the machines today. So lots has happened with the machines since we've taken a little bit of a break on the house. We will go through the house today, but primarily wanted to kind of walk you guys through some of the updates and the plans going forward. I'm going to make a huge effort to try and get a video up a week. Very similar to Side by Side blog. I really love what those guys are doing. They really showcase not only using the machines, but also wrenching on the machines. Kind of going through some of the difficulties with that, some of the issues with some of the machines that we have, some of the maintenance stuff that we do, because a lot of that stuff goes really untold and behind the scenes, and I've been getting a lot of questions on it. So we'll go through each one of these machines, kind of the stage they're at today, what's going on with them. Obviously, we've got Brennan's Defender. If you guys watched Austin Cruz's video, this thing put in work. I've been saying it since day one. Probably the best working machine we have here. Anytime anybody messages me, they're always, you know, what is the most reliable kit out there? I'm going to tell you right now, it is identically this. It is the Super ATV 6-inch lift with their 6-inch portal. You can even jump up to the 8-inch portals there. I wouldn't necessarily go dual idler on this. I just feel like that's a lot to handle for A-arms. I'd probably go with the single idler system. The dual idlers, as on the Mega X3 over here, Megatron, those are huge, and I feel like A-arms just aren't capable of holding those of this grade. But as you guys know, this thing just kicks butt, especially with the turbo on there. We do run a little bit of race gas through it. I think the wrap turned out beautiful, as I showed you in the last one. I think for Brennan here, what we're planning on doing, we've got some new A-arms going on this. They are powder coated purple. They're beautiful. Just refresh the whole thing. And then I'd like to get him into some 8-inch boxes. Same gear reduction, 45%. This thing is huge. A lot of people don't realize how big this thing is. I mean, there's a little Razor 200 just for size purposes, as well as my my cars, but this thing is bloody massive. I'm gonna say it's probably darn near 3 inches of ground clearance. Sorry, 3 inches, 36 inches of ground clearance, 3 feet. Whereas we've got almost 4 on Megatron, and we'll talk about my dad's here in a second now that it's rolling. But absolutely capable machine. Forced turbos is where it's at. I don't know if you guys are following the lineage of kind of ATVs and power. Traditionally, it was done with nitrous and big bore kits. I think now with PATV and forced turbo, moving more towards a traditional turbo or forced induction setup is where we're going to go. I'm not going to say it's more reliable yet, but you certainly can make a substantially larger amount of power over a longer period and rev range of time. Whereas nitrous is kind of like, well, you're riding a bomb. Although huge nitrous fan, love it. Obviously still a huge plaid guy. Logged about 12,000 K on this summer. I drive it everywhere. I can't even tell you the last time I took the Trackhawk down. Honestly, I can't. That being said, huge plans for this winter. I was talking to Sinister, who does all my engine maintenance and tuning. We're probably gonna put a Whipple on it. This winter, I've got some suspension upgrades I've got to do as well. Not saying I'm hard on the Jeep by any means, but it does need some love. It's not kind of where I want it right now. I want to get that cranked up to significantly more horsepower kind of out of the gate. You know, running nitrous through it's just not the solution for daily driving. Although many have done it, myself included. But definitely want to get that new Whipple on there. They're seeing some great success with that. Gotta kind of obviously talk to the funds manager, aka my bank, to see what that looks like from a budget perspective. I bet you it's going to be $10,000 or $15,000 easily. We are also moving away from a dedicated drag radial. I've almost died several times with these tires. Now they're great and they're super sticky. These are the Nitto NTO5Rs. Pretty much the only tire that lets you stick, but as you can see, there's really, and I go drive through gravel every day, but there's really very little for dissipation of water. So we're moving more towards a traditional tire like this, and I do have drag radials for this on all 4, kicking around here somewhere, but that's kind of the plans for this. I am not winter driving this. In fact, as you guys know, I built this house to never leave, and that's kind of the goal. But if I do, I'll take my truck. All right, so you guys saw this on my Instagram. It was just one of those things that I needed Debbie to be dyno tuned. Debbie is my 1180 Outlander. It's just been running like a bag the last few weeks. Tried everything, new plugs, you name it. Took it down to DG Custom ATV in Sudbury. They immediately put it on the dyno. Wasn't making any power. We did a compression and a leak down test. Compression came back, one cylinder was down. I said, you know what? Take that Mr. RPM stuff out. I'm tired of running race gas. There's actually the mod shop. I think they're West Canada, Saskatchewan. I might be wrong there. Alberta, somewhere around there. Alberta, Saskatchewan, oh my God. Anyways, we're going with their 1080 kit. You can run 91 octane on it. And frankly, you make more power than the 1180 does. Now, I will say this. The 1180 loved nitrous. It was a completely different bike on nitrous, but on, race gas mix, it was a dog. And I kind of realized that when I got this, because this stock would absolutely run the doors off of my 1180 unless I was spraying it. And you don't want to be spraying your quad going for a leisurely ride. So that's getting a mod shop 1080. And I bet you it'll make 95 wheel horsepower or more just on motor. Now, this guy here, interestingly enough, the 2022s are actually really difficult to tune. So we did do a custom tune on this. I can't remember what the horsepower was, but I will say, quite honestly, it's very hard for them to make horsepower on it. Everything's locked out. There's a lot of parameters in there that they don't let you touch. But we did put a CVT tech on it, and it really, ignore that, good old fit and finish of the French, huh? We did really wake this bike up with that CV tech. So this thing's a wheelie machine. I have no plans for this other than, man, I really got to get that rad relocate straight. I tipped it over on its side one time, and that's a brand new rad relocate. Anybody knows how to fix that? Let me know, because that is, I'm a sucker for details like this, and it just drives me up the wall. Probably gonna get this powder coated a different color. Definitely not that color. My goodness, Can-Am, please stop making yellow bikes. Please, for the love of God, stop. Please stop. Otherwise, this bike's pretty well complete. I'm looking forward to putting tracks on it. They're sitting up there somewhere this winter. That's going to be a great setup. Also, we removed the speed limiter on there. Now, I know you guys are like, why do you want to go faster than 104 kilometers an hour? Reason for that is when you put tracks on it, that only equates to about 45 kilometers an hour. Now this sucker will go right up to about 160 kilometers an hour, revving out. So that'll should net me about 70 kilometers, 60 kilometers an hour on tracks. Huge benefit in the wintertime, especially when you're going through the sled trails, at night, or gonna go pick up somebody's sled that's broken down and tow it home. You want to be able to move with some speed, because people coming up those trails are doing 100. So obviously, don't do that often. I don't advocate driving on sled trails, but every once in a while when you got to save a buddy, you got to do it, guys. All right, over here. You guys probably saw that this came in second place in the Bounty. It lost to virtually a stock X3 XMR on 36 Assassinators. I'm going to say it straight up. Skimming is not winning. I don't give a shit what you guys think. You got to be able to touch the bottom, and this thing won in my mind. I think everybody else is there. Obviously, it should have. It's got a lot of work in it. It's got scooped and grooved tires, as you can see here. And so I think it was Jeremy. Sorry, buddy. That's a race bike. It's not a bounty bike. And so, skimming ain't winning. They won't let you do that in the US. We shouldn't let them do it here in Canada. That said, excuse me, this is all torn apart right now. Reason for it is PATV shipping me the right bracket lift that goes right here, and it's going to come out to here, which is effectively going to fix the angle of this, which in turn pushes that, shoves these down. We're getting these shocks taken out this weekend, I think tomorrow, and we're shipping them off to have them cranked down as well. But this kit has been incredible. I'd say this is as fast, if not faster, than it was before. We went from a 45 to a 50 with the same gear reduction, the same power. So these are turning, although slower, we're getting more speed out of them because of the circumference of the tire. Don't ask me, it's some sort of science. You'll notice there are no steering components in here. So a few things. We've got new seats coming for my dad here. These are weather cracked, He's not exactly the tallest guy, so he slips in and out of this tall machine. I think we all do. And so these are a little bit toast right now. So we're gonna refresh these for him. But we're upgrading the power steering unit on this. So here's your stock unit here. Our good friends at Demon Axle are giving us a much substantially larger unit to be able to move these tires around. Quite frankly, the stock one did a great job. Don't get me wrong, but when you're riding 6, 7, 8, 9 hours, it can get a little bit daunting. So you want to be able to do that with ease. So that's going to go in next Wednesday, along with that bracket. These being cranked up, we've just got to do some finessing around alignment of tires, which is really nice because they've actually thought about everything at PATV. So you can actually align it just by cracking your jam nuts here, turning these, getting these straight. I mean, it's pretty close now, but not perfect. You just float the center of the tire here. You can see where it's got to go. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at on this machine. For some reason, this is still the ripper. This thing just makes absolute jam. Makes no freaking sense why it goes so fast. I'm really looking forward to get out on a ride in the middle of the woods with my dad and let him try this. So just looking here. Cool, cool, cool. No ball joints, folks. This is where the whole world is moving if you want to be serious. Ball joints are nothing but a complete point of failure. Always have been, always will be. If you're going to upgrade anything, upgrade your ball joints. There's nothing worse than a ball joint failure because quite frankly, you're not going to make it out of the woods if your ball joint fails, aka Blake's video. Anyways, moving on over to the new Limited. You'll see I've already put it to work here. Darn thing's always dirty because it gets out every single day. This is the fan favorite right now. I freaking love this unit. It's got heat, it's got AC, we put a stereo system in it. The fit and finish is very similar. Can-Am's not exactly recreating the wheel when it relates to these Limiteds. You'll see they did bolster the seats a little bit, which is, you know, much nicer for your longer rides. I'm a taller guy, so the foot placement's always been difficult for me. After riding 3 or 4 hours, my left leg does go a little bit numb. And I'll show you guys what I mean here. But there's really nowhere for your foot to go, you know? You're just kind of sitting here and it's kind of upright. And I've had knee surgery, so a little bit difficult for long rides. I would like the ability to push that back somehow. If anybody has any ideas, let me know. But otherwise, this guy's getting wrapped and tinted in the next few weeks. One thing I will say is these new doors, just listen to how that shuts. It's better than a freaking car door. And so these latches, everything about it is great. If you kind of look at the other Limited, that's the older style. I feel like I got cheaped out completely. Yep. Those doors, cheap. Those doors, beautiful. I wish you could put those doors on that. I'm not sure if that's completely possible. Something we might look at. But what I love about this unit is the fact that it's got a hydraulic dump bed from factory. I'll show you what I mean here, folks. Here's the button here. Look at that. I don't want to lose my pump, but we're gonna test this out and see how much it actually can lift. I bet you it'll lift 1,000 pounds. Oh, setting the dogs off there. So things I love about the bed, obviously much more room. Keep the lawn chairs in here. You know, we tend to go out to the local spot and have campfires and whatnot. Obviously tools go in here as well. Just what a great design. I did put the carnivores on there. Everybody talks about how good the carnivores are. I will say this, they haven't left me cold yet. I like them, but my goodness, they are super freaking loud on the road. Super freaking loud. You can barely hear your stereo going 100 kilometers an hour down the road with these. So I think they got to figure that out. It's not really a deal breaker for me. I know I'm riding a 6-wheeled machine, so the expectations are not high. But you know, if I'm going to have a bone to pick, I'm going to pick it. Now, if you guys asking about Limiteds, yes, you can put snorkels on them. Yes, I recommend snorkeling every single one of your machine. You never know that precarious situation you're going to be in. We went with the Lexan on here. I think that's Lexan. And that, because we had to take the glass out, that allows you to kind of cut, as you can see right here, and mount these. Come on, watch. So yes, snorkels are on there. Dump bed works perfectly. Now over to Megatron. We have a few things going on here. Obviously, we need to give it another wash. Thanks, Brennan. He did his best, but these things are just so freaking big and hard to keep clean. We are going to get the overlays on here. So PATV finally sent me the overlays that match that rim color. So looking forward to getting those on. Otherwise, I'm putting a new steering wheel on it, and that's really about it. This machine just works really well. We went over it 2 weeks ago, tightened up all the heims. I think we kind of got the final adjustments in here nicely done, but you can see it just needs a little bit of a cleanup again. Usually 3 or 4 washes, you're good to go. Eventually, we're gonna take all this rusted hardware out and put some real stainless stuff in there. I'm not exactly a fan of rusted looking crap on a 6-figured machine. Is what it is. All right, over to the 6x6. So still gonna finish the pinion brake. That's a project in the works. Both Brennan and I tend to start multiple projects and not finish them. So that was one of them. It does have all brand new A-arms, all brand new bushings in there. Look at these guys. They just never stop. Why don't you guys be quiet? Well, you can see me. I tinted the windows, so guys, come on. Stop. Stop barking. I'll be in a minute. Relax. Yeah, keep barking. We have a portal leak. Probably my first portal leak I've ever had. I just think this thing, and you'll see it here, it's sweating all over the ground. It's sweating on the inside of the rim. You know, it's gonna happen. 1 to 6 on this is not a bad ratio. I've got a rebuild kit coming for new seals. We'll get that in there, get that taken care of. But otherwise, I think this thing, for the majority, is going to be staying the way it is. Pinion brake, fix the portal, and otherwise, you know, great unit. You know, just going back to the doors. It just feels cheap. Sorry, Can-Am. You'll see we use this. Like, there's mud inside, there's a water in here. We probably get it on this once a week. Can-Am, figure that out, man. Just cheap crap. Anyways, quite pleased with this unit, and maybe upgrade the audio in the next year or so. This one needs a clean as well. So that's kind of the machines. Like I said, Debbie is not here right now. It is getting its motor rebuilt, and I probably expect it back next week or the week after, and we'll do some testing videos with it. But at any rate, let's walk into the house. You'll see we moved the sauna down here. That's its permanent place. We do have the stairs and the railings in. We chose to use a product that's similar to a Rhinoline. Very, very, very grippy stuff. Inherently hard as heck to clean. So not sure I'm a big fan of it, but I can't really do anything about it other than maybe use some sort of silicone on there. Might create a slippery surface to clean it, but right now we're living in mud, so it's indicative of the entire house to be this messy, and you'll see that throughout the video. You just can't keep it clean, especially with dogs floating around. But here's the gym. Still waiting on a few more pieces of equipment and mirrors. The company that I was working for on mirrors wanted a fortune for them, so we're going to find another company that'll do it at a much better price. But you know, all your essential pieces of equipment are here, as I went through previously, including garbage. Can't blame anybody. I did that. Anyways, let's head on in. Here's the little Velociraptor himself. No, in we go. Hi guys. Hello. Yes, Charlie, it's me. Yup, we're good. Thank you. So quick updates here. Not much has changed except for the stairs and the railing. Now, all of you people that really suck at walking are like, oh my God, these are death traps. They are not. That is a very wide step, very minimal rise. And we do have railings. Don't worry, he's a shop dog. He knows what he's doing. He's a trained professional, right? But yeah, that's kind of where we're at on the stairs. So these railings are coming this week. Once that's in, we can go ahead and get our final for the place. But otherwise, it's really been business as usual, you know. Spent a lot of time in here working away. Not completely finished yet, but you'll see that we've got, isn't that beautiful? We've got, you know, the office set up. I've got my cameras set up here as well. One thing I really hate is, and maybe we can duplicate it here, is anytime I turn something on, it blows a breaker. Okay, so we're good so far. I do this about 3 or 4 times a day. I gotta go back to the breaker room because there's a 15 amp here, and some dumbass at ESA, love you guys, no I don't, decided that a 15 amp breaker on a dedicated circuit was enough for a room. It is not, but this is nice because I can actually see what's going on. I don't have to leave the confines of my office. I can see where the dogs are at. I can see, you know, who's coming up to the house. We still get visitors 2 or 3 times a day. It is incredibly annoying. Please do not show up unless you're invited. Please, 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 please. I cannot step away from my desk. The dogs start going crazy. It is costing me money. You guys, please stop showing up without an invite. Thank you. So yeah, we have, because Alfred pretends he's a cat and likes to sit on the sills, we have quartz going on here, very similar to the countertops over there. Yes, I'm talking about you because you're not exactly the best. Yeah, good boy. We've got our hood range in. I think I showed you guys that that was wrapped last time. The innards for it finally showed up, so that should be installed today or tomorrow. Looking forward to having a working hood range. You don't realize how badly you need them until you're limited on what you can cook based on things going up. These build outs have been ordered. Let's head on all the way up to, no, you guys stay. Literally hurting a zoo. Let's head on all the way up to the final room here. This is gonna be really out of breath. This is a lot of stairs. A lot. I'm already out of breath. Okay, so we all know Josh. He's in a wheelchair, although sometimes I still feel like he isn't because he's just such a shithead. But we put a gate in here because the ultimate goal is to get a lift here to get him up. And so really looking forward to that, you know, open the gate for him, right into the bar. If you guys haven't seen that, again, we tinted all the windows. You'll see that here's the bar here, right? Pretty cool. Those windows are tinted as well. Can't see, you can see out, but not in. First place, thank you for that. But we did get this other room done. And so this is technically storage. So this is where Steph is going to be keeping her wardrobe, kind of like a woman cave. We got it spray foamed. It's already roughed in for electrical. She's gonna have a little bit of a wet bar here, a huge island. Just imagine a woman's man cave, woman's cave. Shoes, whatever, mirrors, I don't know, whatever you fancy girls like. But this room is gonna be for her and her storage, basically her wardrobe. Pretty cool. We'll get her windows. That's really what we're waiting on for the next step in the next few weeks. And yeah, that is pretty well it. We are approaching September very quickly, which is my ride month, September, October. We will be going to Skegtober at Dave Ossa Cruisers. We have a ton of events, particularly with Lockhart's, as well as my own rides. So, you know what, guys? Trying to do an upload a week is really hard with my schedule. I will do my best to commit that to you. Like I said, more side-by-side blog style of wrenching on stuff, showing you kind of the pains that we go through. You know, nothing's perfect. A lot of people are always like, Nick, your machines always look great. They always work properly. You know, I am a sucker for regular maintenance, for sure. But nothing goes right. You know, I've got Taylor in here, I've got Brennan in here often. They're helping me go through, you know, the motions of getting things working. Neither of us really know what we're doing. It's trial by fire or trial by error. But at the end of the day, we seem to be doing quite well. We've got a lot of working units in here and, you know, very proud of the fleet that we have and looking to add some new ones to it. So anyways, guys, like and subscribe. I know this wasn't a super great video, but just want to give you an update. Well said. Oh, good morning. The 9 hours of sleep you got last night wasn't enough, huh?